everyone. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Me and my family just kind of hung out this weekend. My husband had to go away for a few days for work, so we just had a low-key weekend and just kind of spent some time together before he had to go do that. Today, I'd really like to talk about breastfeeding and breastfeeding in public. I've noticed that it's a really hot topic. You read in the news and you see on social media moms being asked to leave establishments for breastfeeding their babies. I've read about a mom being asked to breastfeed in an alley when she asked for a dressing room at a Victoria's Secret, which I find super ironic. I've seen a story be asked to leave for breastfeeding at a Chick-fil-A, and I feel like that's just something that a lot of people are getting upset about, is breastfeeding in public. Now, I feel like the whole debate is against covering and not covering. I choose to cover, and the reason why I choose to cover in public, I also choose to cover in front of my significant others' husbands or boyfriends, because when me and my husband said our vows, I said that I was his and his alone. Now, I don't feel like I would be okay with another mom openly breastfeeding her child in front of my husband, because as much as we don't want to say that our chest is not a sexual object and it's a form of feeding our babies, we have to face the facts. We live in a very sexualized world. If you turn on MTV, you turn on the radio, you open a magazine, you flip through your Instagram, you walk down the street, you're going to see some form of sexual activity, whether it's... I apologize, that's my cat, who is now a demon, apparently. She is possessed by the devil randomly throughout the day. But anyway, you're going to walk down the street, and every day you're going to see some kind of sexual activity, whether it's a 1 or a 10 of the sexual extremists. And that's just the world that we live in. You can't avoid it, and you can't pretend like it doesn't exist. Before I had Nathaniel, I was all for breastfeeding in public and breastfeeding openly, and it's not a sexual thing, and it's naturally feeding my baby. I still believe that, but as my son gets older, now he's only going to be 2 in December, so it's not like he's hitting puberty tomorrow, but as my son gets older, I ask myself, do I want my son seeing a woman's chest at 13, 14? I don't. I want my son to grow up to respect women. I want my son to grow up to respect a woman's mind and body. I want him to get to know a girl first and not in a sexual manner. I want him to, really see her intellectual mind before he sees her body. And I would prefer him to be married before he does that, just because it really eliminates so much heartache if you tend to do that. I know it doesn't work for everybody, but for our family, that's just kind of what we've chosen. We live a very Christian lifestyle, and we would really prefer our kids to save themselves for the one that God made for them. It's not going to work for everybody, and I understand that, but that's what works for us. So I'm thinking, I don't want my son to go to the mall and see a mom breastfeeding, because he's not going to say, oh, that mom's feeding her daughter or feeding her son naturally. He's going to see her chest, and he's going to think, boobs. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. But we live in a sexual world. That's the reality of it. And until we start changing the minds of our young ones so they can start changing the minds of their young ones and so on and so forth, that's the world that we live in. So no, I don't want to expose myself to a 13-year-old boy and then that 13-year-old boy go home and I be their object, because that's what it's going to do. It's going to, I'm going to become an object to that child or to that little boy, and he's not going to look at my mind. He's not going to look and say, oh, that's a mom breastfeeding their baby. He's just going to see my chest, and that's going to be the end of it. End of story. I once was breastfeeding Nathaniel, and I was home for Christmas, and I had my cover on, and we were at a bowling alley, the whole family, and I was kind of off to a little corner of the booth, and I was breastfeeding, and I was taking care of my son, and I noticed a man lingering and watching me. It made me so uncomfortable. I called my husband, I said, you get rid of that man right now. He knew what I was doing, and he was lingering to see if he could take a peek. That man did not say, oh, I want to see that mom breastfeed her baby naturally. He wanted to see me as a sexual object. So I choose to cover myself because I'm not going to be a sexual object to anybody, and I'm not going to be sexual for anybody except for my husband, because that's what our vows meant to us. Now, I know that these beliefs are pretty extreme for a lot of people, and you know what? That's okay. They work for my family. They're not going to work for everybody else. If you choose to not cover, I don't think you're a bad mom. I don't think that you're a sexual person and you're a pervert for exposing yourself. I think you're feeding your baby in the most natural way that you can. And I think you're doing a really good job. And if you're comfortable doing it, then you're comfortable doing it. I'm personally just a really conservative person. I didn't become really conservative until I had my son and I got married, because I really started thinking, hey, do I want other men looking at me like, hey girl, what are you doing? What's your number? I don't. It makes me uncomfortable. If you know that I'm married and you hit on me, I look at you like you're an idiot. If you hit on me and you see my ring, I'll look at you like you're an idiot. Like, dude, I'm married. And I know a lot of people don't respect that, but I respect my vows and I respect my husband. And so yeah, I know that all these views are pretty radical. I mean, like my sister said in her intro video, she said that I live a very Christian lifestyle. And I do. And I love living my Christian lifestyle. I'm happy. Me and my husband have a great relationship, so that's just the way that we choose to believe. So please don't attack me for my radical views. They're just my views and I'm okay with them. I'm comfortable. So those are just kind of my beliefs on it, and those are my sayings. I'm sure my sister will make a video. She doesn't cover in public. She actually was approached at the fair, and a mom was like, hey, you're making my daughter uncomfortable by breastfeeding, and my sister just very calmly said, I was here first. If she doesn't like it, then don't look. And I believe in that. If you don't like what you've seen, don't look. If you see a mom, and if you're watching this and you see a mom and you're like, wow, I can't believe she's not covering and blah, 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 and you throw a fit, nobody asked you to look. Nobody forced you to look. Don't look. If it makes you, like me, scary movies make me uncomfortable. PDA makes me uncomfortable in movies. If some dudes if we're watching a movie and they're making out, I choose not to look because it just makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why it does. It just makes me uncomfortable. But yeah, if it makes you uncomfortable, don't look. Excuse you for looking. Look somewhere else. Look at your freaking phone. Search through your freaking social media. If that mom's breastfeeding openly, the baby's not crying, so you should be happy. So yeah, those are just my views. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I'll be making a video tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be introducing my family to you this week. I'd like to include my husband in this video. He just has been off in a TDY. He's military, so he's been off in a TDY for the past couple days, so he hasn't been able to make an appearance and I haven't asked him. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great Monday. And yeah, tell your friends about our channel, subscribe, share us on your social media. We're here for you, and we want to reach as many people as possible and uplift them and encourage them to be the best moms that they can be, no matter what they choose or how they choose to parent, breastfeed, cloth, don't cloth, vaccinate, don't vaccinate. Whatever you choose, you're doing such a good job, and we're so proud of you for being a mom. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you later.